벨트는 양쪽 부리를 끼워 몸에 맞게 조여주시고 발 돌아오게 만듭니다. 표시등이 꺼지더라도 안전을 위해 항상 좌석 벨트를 매주시기 바랍니다. 이 착륙장은 좌석 등받이와 팔걸이를 원위치로 해주시기
What is going on, my people? I'm in Seoul, Korea right now. I was sitting here thinking a lot about life. These days, people are talking about mental health issues. I think the older generation, a lot of us, we had mental health issues, but we were always told to suck it up. You know, the generation before us, they told us, you don't know how good you have it. But we never had it perfect. We always had a lot of issues mentally growing up. It was a push for unity, conforming to a certain pattern, certain way you live. And they want society to mimic that perfect model citizen. Proper citizens didn't do this, didn't do that, so you had the baby boomers who basically put the middle finger at the older generation, saying that they're not going to be the proper citizens. So they had the hippie movement and the kind of like the rebellious youth nature of the 60s and 70s, where everybody grew their hair, listened to rock and roll and did things that wasn't approved of by society to be a good citizen or by their family. They did a lot of drugs and a lot of sleeping around, just basically like, we're going to do completely the opposite of what you tell us to do. We're not going to conform at all, and there was a certain level of independence and beauty that came out of it, but it totally disrupted the unity of the country in many levels. And so there needs to be kind of like a balance of that, because you don't want a bunch of lemmings and a bunch of robots in a country or a company. You want people that can think independently, and you could be your own self, with your own pros and cons and, your good and bad. At the same time, there's power in unity, and you can get a lot of things done, and you can be a force if you are united with others. So you've got obviously some type A personalities, which are people with leadership qualities. They like making decisions. They feel out of their comfort zone when people tell them, oh, you should do this, you should do that. They just, their skin crawls and they have to make their own decision. And then you've got other people that still, they want to choose, but it stresses them out when they're trying to make a series of decisions. So they want somebody else to give them a plan that makes sense so they can choose that. I agree with that. I want to, they look at a menu. I want to eat this. They tell you what's on the menu and you pick and choose what you want. They like that. But at the end, at the core, our being wants the freedom to choose, the freedom to choose. Nobody wants to be told what they need to do, what they need to pick on the menu, we want to choose. Whether we're the leader type or the follower type, we still want to choose. We want to choose our leader. We want to choose who we want to follow. We want to lead a certain way, That's how we're wired as human beings. And a lot of mental health issues stem from what I believe. When I look at it, this is just me observing. I think a lot of mental health issues stem from people not having the power to choose their own life, their direction, what they want to do. Parents want their kids to be A, B, C, D, E, F, G. And, people can say, oh, it's the religious people that are like that. It's the conservative people that are like that. But no, most people, if they have kids, they want them to do A, B, C, D, E, F, G. And at a certain point, this desire creates problems for the people we are taking care of or people we're making decisions for. There's got to be a time and a way to pass the baton more smoothly, but it's impossible, because some people make great decisions even from an early age, and some people horrible decision makers. If left to their own devices, it becomes a mess. But this control thing, I think it is a big part of mental health issues for people in the future, because I think the stress that it brings people when they have to do things because mom said, because dad said, because your teacher said, because, your boss said, it creates a lot of stress for people. I want to say that in the end, everybody wants to choose for themselves. They want to choose. And the funny thing is sometimes the people you should trust the most, the people that are closest to you, like family members or people in your circle, they can give you the best advice, but a lot of us won't take that advice. Sometimes people hate taking advice from close family members or close friends, even though it's great advice. It's just human nature. I don't know what it is. The closer we are, sometimes the more we reject that person's advice. And sometimes the more distant we are, and we can be close and distant, like we can have a level of trust and whatnot, but we don't see each other every day. And, but those are the people that we would take their advice. And then you've got other situations where sometimes people will hear a strange idea from a complete stranger and then bring that home like it's a gospel truth. They'll come home and say, "Oh my God, you know what I just learned today? We need to do XYZ. You kids, you guys need to do XYZ. We need to do this XYZ financial planning. Blah blah blah. Nonsense." A lot of nonsense out there. So let's kind of explore this a little bit. So some people at a young age, we rebelled. A lot of us rebelled because we were sick of being told what to do. And there was a huge societal movement where we wanted to give the middle finger to Uncle Sam, the middle finger to the people in authority. Pink Floyd, The Wall, like we don't need no education. Like we grew up with like a lot of rebelliousness, and some of us took action and built a lot of unhealthy patterns in our life, whether it's sexually, whether it has to do with drinking and substance abuse, or issues even with our sexuality, unhealthy sexual relationships, or spending money more than we should to fill a void, buying the toys that we feel like we need to have, and other vices like drinking, drugs, smoking. A lot of these things became part of us, unhealthy part of us. And if somebody knew the deep, dark secrets we harbored inside, it would be embarrassing. It would be shocking and embarrassing. And that's why I think a lot of people have skeletons in their closet from ever since they were like young kids. And a lot of that stems from a desire to have freedom and to choose what we want to do. But, I believe in good and evil. I believe in angels and demons. I believe that, like in those cartoons, there's an angel sitting on one shoulder and the demon sitting on the other shoulder. And the demon is telling you things that you shouldn't, do. He's telling you to do. He's whispering in your ear. An angel's trying to tell you to do the right thing. Demon's trying to tell you to do the bad thing, right? I think this is a reality in life, because if you think about it, a lot of the things that we did out of rebellion when we were younger, they weren't the smartest things, right? Created a lot of scars, created a lot of damage in our lives, and at the same time, hurt a lot of people that wanted better from us, right? I mean, was it healthy that they demanded XYZ, like you need to conform, you need to be like this? No, it probably wasn't healthy. Bringing kids into this world, it feels like you're responsible to take care of these people that are eventually going to go out there in the real world and make their own decisions. But for whatever reason, we can't cut the umbilical cord, and we have to dictate how they live, until we're about to die even. This is how life is sometimes. So how much of that tension, because, you can see the flip side too. There's people that did everything or did a lot of things that they were told. They were the people that did conform. They were the good, obedient kids. They did their homework. They did their, lessons, whatever lessons that their parents wanted them to do. And, it was a shame if they didn't get an A in the class and whatnot. And even though sometimes every fiber in their being didn't want to do certain things, they felt the need to be obedient. Or maybe there might have been punishment involved. They wanted to avoid the punishment. Whatever it was, they felt that they needed to go a certain direction to conform to what those leaders, parents, people were trying to dictate to them. And that's one of the key things about obedience is sometimes you don't agree with what they're telling you to do, but you do it anyway because you think, they know better, or it's for the greater good, right? And I think there is a healthy obedience, but sometimes I think parents or leaders, we can't decipher healthy and unhealthy very well because we're so consumed with our thoughts that we don't think about the person that we're dictating one thing or another to. So whether it be the kids, the employees, or the people that are following our leadership, we don't properly think about their well-being or think about their interests. We think about our agenda, our goals, and how we want them to be. And especially when it comes to kids, how my kid's not going to be like that. My kid's going to be obedient. My kid's going to be respectful. My kid's not going to be XYZ, So, and then we have, you got the rebellious and then the obedient. And I'm sure most of us have a strange combination and mixture of both of those. In different aspects of our life. Some areas we were so obedient, in other areas we were so undisciplined. In some areas we were, excellent, and in other areas we were completely rebellious, And so we grow up with a mixture of all of these strange traits, embedded in us, doing the right thing, doing the wrong thing. I don't know one person out there that does the right thing every single time. No, I know people, they, nice people, but every once in a while they lie. We're human beings. Every once in a while they break the law, even people in law enforcement. Yeah. They break the law once in a while, sometimes a lot, because they know they can get away with it, So going back to what I said earlier, how much of this and the thinking behind this, it's pretty complex if you think about it. So I'm trying to simplify it, being able to choose and not being able to choose, and what kind of effect it has on our mental health. Because a lot of times you look at, and I'm not saying this is the end of all, this is just my opinion and my observation, by the way. I'm not no psychologist. I'm not no medical doctor. This is not any kind of medical advice or anything like that. I'm just saying, from what I observed, there's a lot of people out there that are struggling with mental health, and a lot of it deals with choices they didn't make and choices they made, and their idea of how life should be or should have been, and the reality that it's not. And that's why they are dealing with a lot of mental health issues, And so I want to know what you guys think about this. I'm sorry if I opened up like a huge can of worms, but, I'm just observing. And this is a thing, is that, we've got older generation people saying, oh, the young kids these days, the Gen Zs, the millennials, they don't know, they think life is so tough. And you know what? Those kids, those younger generation people, they're the ones that are opening their eyes and actually identifying these problems, in an honest way. Back when we were, younger, most of us had too much pride to even think about mental health issues. I'm not crazy. I'm not Sigmund Shrink. It was uncool, or we wanted to be tough, like we wanted to be together. But that's all BS. We're sitting here struggling with personality disorders and problems that we have, and we can't even admit that we have those issues. The kids these days, the younger generation, they open their eyes and they can see that there's stuff going wrong, and so they want to address some of these issues. And I think kudos to them, they want to take better care of themselves. Not like a lot of us who, sucked it up and just went through the motions, even though we were suffering inside. So anyway, I brought this up to just create dialogue. And because I'm not driving a truck right now and I'm on vacation, it was something that I wanted to share. And so tell me what your guys' thoughts are. And, I think after my vacation, I'll try to put a little travel vlog together of all the things that happened while I was traveling. But, I just wanted to reach out to you guys while I had some downtime during this vacation. But anyway, tell me in the comments, let me know what you think about this whole mental health thing, and how a lot of us don't choose what we should choose and choose what we shouldn't choose. And these are the reasons why a lot of issues are embedded in our being. So hopefully that's not too confusing or obscure, I don't know. I'm just thinking a lot, so about some of these things, because trying to digest it and make sense of it all. So I wanted to open up the dialogue and see what you guys think. Well, until I talk to you guys next time, cheers. I'm having a lot of fun in Korea, and I'll go ahead and share some of that next time. God bless you, and have a great week, and I hope to talk to you soon. I should be back at my truck, hopefully starting the 16th of October. So until we talk next time, peace, and be safe out there. Cheers.